Hi there. I've had an interesting evening this evening. I've been looking once again at chobbing using the variable green up method, but I changed tack a little bit and decided to look for runners with higher prices. As I've mentioned before, typically I'll use the Naps Checker site to make my initial selections prior to checking those out via Timefor. And generally speaking, my selections end up being relatively short in odds. Certainly they tend to be, although not always, they tend to be one of the first three in the market. And so their odds are relatively small. And with the variable green up, as you may have seen from the various screenshots I've been posting this past week or so, the typical green up position tends to be around the £20 mark, give or take. And the higher the odds I take for the initial trade, the greater that green up point is going to be. So I actually wanted to concentrate on trying to find higher priced runners that are likely to shorten in price. So I'm still using the same 15% offset, but the variable green up, because of the higher price, means that it will green up for a higher value. And you can see the results I've been getting this evening, typically greening up just in the low 30s, with a couple that have been greening up in the 40s. There's a £14 profit there. That was me manually trading out, in actual fact, because the green up process didn't complete. And so I took the opportunity when I saw that it wasn't completing to manually trade out to guarantee myself a profit, albeit only £14. So with these selections, I've been getting selections roughly around about 10 to 14 is typical. I think my lowest one was around about 5. My highest one was around about 28. So I've got 2 races still to go. I'll just let you see what the selections are because I think I've already set those up. So we've got this race here. So it's going to be Norman Kindu. So he's currently sitting around 14. Still 8 minutes to go yet. And there's the one at Carlisle, which is Zumati. And yes, he's sitting around 8. So I'll come back and have a look at those once they're underway. Okay, we're off and running at Nottingham for the 2042. This is the second last race of the night. And as you can see, I'm on at 12.5, looking to get out at 10.5. And one of the things I've noticed by looking for higher priced runners is that they've all been getting their cover bet matched, but there's quite a few of them who haven't gone low enough to actually get the green up point triggered. So that may be something I need to look at in terms of the green up process. But yeah, happy with things as they are at the moment. Let's hope that Norman Kindu can just keep up the record so far. So as I say, what I've been doing is trying to look for higher priced runners so that the green up process greens up for a higher profit. Now, in order to do that, what I've been doing is once again looking at the Naps Checker selections to give me an idea as where to look. And so I've been tending to shy away from the preferred picks on Naps Checker, quickly going over to Timeform and comparing those horses with regard to their in-running price movements and selecting what I think is the most appropriate selection for my CHOB. So as you can see, it's been quite successful this evening. You obviously need Norman Kindu to get the finger out though. It's one of the things that I need to weigh up the pros and cons of, because obviously if you're going for a higher price runner, there tends to be less money available on that runner in running, and consequently there may be an issue with regard to the amount of money you can use for your opening position. Okay, that's the cover bet taken, so that's good. £200, so it'll green up about £30 ish. So he's going to have to drop a fair bit in the last wee bit of the race. Let's have a quick look if I get that out of the way. Yeah, he's going to have to drop down to just under 7. And it doesn't look like he's going to do it, unfortunately. But not to worry, that's another cover bet taken, so there's no loss. So that's great. But yeah, as I said earlier, by going to the higher price runners, you will tend to get more races where, if the cover bet is getting taken, you'll get more where that happens, but the green up doesn't kick in because the price doesn't go any further. So that's something that I perhaps need to look at. If I was to consider Norman Kindu, let's just see how low he went. Yeah, you're looking. He didn't quite go far. He got fairly close, I suppose, but a relatively small amount of money was down where it needed to be. Anyway, I'll skip on to the last race, the one at Carlisle at 2052. Okay, we're off and running in the last race at Carlisle, last race of the evening, and as you can see, I'm on Zumati at 7.4 and need to cover at 6.2. So here's hoping this one actually greens up for a profit. It would be nice to hit the £300 profit mark today. That would be lovely. Still, we're guaranteed a profit for this evening, even if this one ends up as being a loser. But over the past couple of weeks, I've done a lot of chobbing and a lot of chobbing with a variable green up. So hopefully I've shown you both in video form and in screenshots that it's certainly a useful technique, particularly if you like to give yourself some sort of protection for your liabilities. You still have to make the selections, of course. You still have to have a decent selection process. There's no way around that, irrespective of what you happen to be doing within the markets. But yes, all in all, I'm really very happy with the way it's been going. But so it's certainly worth pursuing, I think. Okay, so we're just waiting for Zumati to drop in price, but it doesn't look like it's going to do it in this case, which is a shame. It's always annoying ending the day on a red, but still. Okay, guys, so that's a loser right at the very end, unfortunately. So we'll have 169 as a profit, which is a shame, but never mind. But there you go. If you haven't decided whether you want to use chobbing or not, as I say, if you want to play around with it, there's a variety of different ways you can use it to nibble away at your liabilities. And I've briefly outlined some of those in previous videos. But have a go with the basic one and see how you get on. And I'll speak to you in another video. Cheers, guys.